Hey guys, what is going on? It is Ando, and I put out a post, and I think close to 70% of you guys wanted GAC recap, so this one's for you guys. As you can see, we're in Kyber 1 with a 3672 skill rating. This video will be at 1.5 speed. It changes it from like a 46-minute long video to 20-minute long video. My opponent here is from Starforge Bespin. He's a little bit higher GP than me, got quite a bit more in the upper relics, I would say. And I think he's got a few more GAC Omicron, so should be a good fight. And so let's take a look at his defense here. So we got Qui-Gon Jinn, we got Malgus, we've got Rey, and then we've got a Jabba. You can't really see it because you see my face, but just believe he's there. And then we've got Grand Inquisitor led Third Sister, CLS, Grievous, and Lord Vader. And I was certain that he's using this Grand Inquisitor lead Third Sister in order to throw off Traya. I looked at the kits, I looked at the leadership specifically. I didn't see anything that was going to stop it. Maybe with a different cron. But I was like, man, you know what? I'm going to spring the trap. If this is the trap, I'm going to spring it. So go in, and they start opening up on Nihilus a little bit. That's okay. Totally fine. The one thing that I think benefits the Inquisitors more in this scenario is we're not getting as many debuffs as we would with the Third Sister lead. So we don't hit as hard, or at least as fast. Want to try and keep Seventh Sister alive as long as possible, just because of her assisting kind of helps out the team. So I'm targeting Grand Inquisitor first, because we know that we're going to nuke Third Sister, and there goes Grand Inquisitor. And again, we don't want to attack Seventh Sister, so it kind of limits the targets here. So we'll go for Fifth Brother next as far as damage goes, until we can get the Nihilus punch. I do switch over there just to recover protection, but probably not necessarily. So yeah, just keep letting them attack you. SWGoH in this, I think, makes this such a solid counter. It is an expensive counter, especially because this one is a 0 Omicron one. But I mean, at the same time, it's a Reva Inquisitor squad, very, very powerful squad. Not really worried about what the the supposed like payment for a squad like this is. It's essentially a GL in my mind. So there you go. Both, just we started nuking them there at the end. So 75 points, easy first win. Love it. You love when you start out that way. So I left my target lock cron on defense, and I was like, you know what though, maybe we can still do it. And man, this is quite a spectacle. So we get the opening that we want. Actually, some people go for the stun early on. I like to go for open target locks, and I land none. So I was like, okay, we're probably in trouble here. Looking to land some more target locks, we land none. Still again, it's kind of repeating the same story here. Now we're in trouble because one AoE from that point from 3 Baka could hypothetically kill Grievous. I'm gonna go for the target lock again. I land a few more now that the potency's starting to kick in, and but as you can see, we got lucky there. Second kill down, and now we're starting to land full target locks, but without B2 in here, this starts to become such a messy counter if it works at all. As you can see, my Grievous died, and I got really sad, so I left. Yeah, crazy. That squad is very good, but it's also very good on offense. So since we failed that, I'm gonna have to use JMK versus Lord Vader here. Not necessarily a bad thing. It's just one of those things where I've brought him on offense kind of for this reason if we need him. Some people will wait for that reset just so that way you avoid what just happened here, where now I've got a 2 cooldown set on Cat. It is a pain, so I can see that being a thing. I'm gonna target Maul any chance that I get, just because he's the guy that boosts up the Lord Vader ult so fast, and I really want you really don't want to toy with him going into ult kind of the second time too quickly. You kind of want to space that out as much as possible. So we ult after he ults. That's the way it goes. And now we're throwing in attacks on Maul. And again, want to try and kill Maul because basically our 2 down or our 2 cooldown turned into a 3 cooldown by ability block. So now we really need to get Royal Guard out of here. He's so huge for this team in terms of sustainability. Next, Cander's just because he's an easy target. And again, we just want to limit the relic levels. It'll start to pay dividends for us in case this does become a longer fight. And now at this point, really just want to get as many call-ins on Cat as possible to try and boost up her damage. And yeah, obviously try to get Nine Sister out because again, we could try and mess around and attack Vader, but with Nine Sister ability to taunt, we kind of run the risk of, especially after ult ends, to essentially, you know, not getting around to him and splitting up our damage. So I just wanted to go all in on Nine Sister. Landed healing immunity on him, and once we're in healing immunity, he's not really in a zone for him to go into ult. We should be good to kind of put in a lot of damage on him. Yeah, and as you can see, I'm saving the leap for ult. Because we gain a little bit extra damage and it just gives us more time to kind of boost up our own. So calling in Cat whenever I can. And yeah, once we're in ult, all the GRs will hit under, or I think it's maybe GR Jedis, something like that. Will hit Sith underneath protection. So yeah, again, just trying to call in as much as possible. And here we go. All right, perfect. Nice little hit there. Ended off with a 65. Again, that Kron that helps us recover. Every time we gain a buff, we recover 2% health protection. Kind of helps as well. So I decided to go YOLO here. I was thinking to myself, I thought about this for a while, and I said, if we can get the 3rd stack on armor, I think we survive. I think we can win this. So we've got the 3rd stack right now, and we've got a stun on Chewbacca, which is nice. I did not account for that AoE killing both Zombie and Daka though. That was crazy. So we're gonna put this on. So this basically gives a little bit extra protection and it makes them not be able to crit. And my thought process was they'll reduce my turn meter so much to the point to where you become like, I'll become a super SLKR, and yeah, you know, without them being able to crit, like I should be able to put the damage off. But you could see we're getting really close and I'm getting really nervous, and I think about what to do here for a second, and I'm like, you know what, let's ult, let's see if we can do something. At this point, I'm not sure whether it's better to stun or to swipe. I actually think I swipe here, I'm pretty sure. But one of the things that I think I should have done actually is stun 3-Bach. Right, so getting the counterattacks in from the 3rd stack of Beskar as well, which is again helpful. If I thought about this more, I should have probably brought in like something with good health steal. Again, not gonna risk it. I'm just gonna keep going into ult, and hopefully we can ramp up faster than Chewbacca is, or 3-Bach. Remember that when 3-Bach in this Kron, when he's doing a basic, which is like all the time because he's always assisting, that's why I think the stun is so valuable here. They're gaining 5% stacking offense, so it's to the point where you can absolutely start killing GLs. And so that's what I'm glad that I kind of did that. Now we're at full ult, so I feel pretty good about my chances if I get to an ult that we will kill. We'll start doing swipes and really draining mastery and do good things. But you know, obviously they are doing a reduction of turn meter. So and then I think I start swiping 3PO Chewie as well. Yeah, so he's gone now, so that's great. Like that effectively gets rid of the stacking offense, which is awesome. So yeah, the YOLO did work, but it was kind of sketch at best. So we made up for that mistake. So this one is a sortie cron. I was thinking, I was like, you know what? I think this is going to be a standard Jedi counter. And then I was kind of thinking, you know, I was like, let's throw an audible in here. I'm going to go with a little bit more tenacity at the start. They don't have a ton of potency here. And I was like, you know what? I just think I'll give the 5% stacking offense buff to us. And I just wanted to make sure that, like, I know like Jedi Knight Revan in many cases is the better lead, but it's just a tenacity up. And when you don't have Grandmaster Yoda to kind of re-spam out the tenacity up, I think this was probably the right call, honestly. So get rid of sortie, kind of gets rid of the cron, so now there's no VIP. And then now, like, Jedi Knight Luke is just absolutely going crazy. They are, of course, targeting our good friend Jedi Knight Revan. That's okay. So obviously we're not going to get Savior when he's not the lead, and they kill him first. So the goal is to try and keep him alive, so that way we do get a Savior. Although it's hard because it seems like in this comp he's the softest one. So a taunting tank might be a good call. I couldn't afford Ben, old Ben. So yeah, they're going after him again. I couldn't afford him because I knew I needed Ben later on. So I put Hoda in here, and it's probably could have been a better choice, honestly. The one negative part about Bastila lead is once the bonus protection's done, it's not like Jedi Knight Revan lead where we can kind of sort of, you know, come back from it, recover protection, all that good stuff. But we do get the win here with a solo Grievous. We know that the win is ours. I didn't stun there just because it does reduce max health, but he would have cleansed it anyway. So I was like, you know what, let's just do damage on him. So open up the back wall here, and we see a trench, we see a Radis, and a dash. So pretty tame teams, but like nothing also to, it's not like, I wouldn't call that cheese. So our first fight is, because this guy doesn't have the right datacron on his Jabba, it allows us to run our own CLS counter, which is why I could have used CLS earlier, but I was like, man, this is gonna be so much better to use CLS in this instance. So opening shot on Boosh for me, that's how I like to play it. I don't usually like to switch here because they are landing a ton of debuffs, and I really want to gain turn meter and all that good stuff. And yeah, I think it's just overall better. Like I've had good success with it that way. So that's just my two things, or my 2 cents, I guess. Kill Boosh, and now we can assist. So I should have probably swapped stances there just so that way I could get a few assists. But I didn't. So learn from my mistakes. Okay, so I swapped stances there though, and now you can see like we're kind of coming back into the full health of protection. Now they almost killed Chewie. I mean, almost is probably a bit of an exaggeration. And because they have like 230% armor penetration on this cron, so that was kind of scary. So Relic 9, Chrysanthemum killed once. And again, kind of talking back to like why CLS is so good on defense. I really want to try and spam as many basics from Chewbacca or 3-Baka as possible. Obviously, with him assisting all the time, that's not super hard. It's not like that's like a crazy feat that I've done, or like some crazy theory crafting that I've come up with. But just it's why I'm swapping stances. It's why I'm choosing to do the shrugs and stuff like that. And so that way I can just do a big AoE here and just smack Jabba. It's such a cool counter when they don't have the right cron. So, and this guy opted to do a Ben cron. Now I will say in 3v3 this was a nightmare. It was pretty interesting actually. Like I didn't realize Ben hit that hard. One of the guys that I faced, like it was just disgusting. He just like, Ben was just killing GLs. Like I was like, what the heck is going on? So opening move, we want to keep shocked on bears. When I lose these comps, which is I've only lost like once or twice, and that's even with the sortie cron, like in GAC, it's just so hard to stop Star Killer, quite honestly. Tenacity can work, armor can work, but it can be really, really difficult. But that being said, when I lose, it's because I don't keep the shocked on Barris, right? Because she'll gain turn meter, and then, you know, we kind of get stuck behind her cleansing everyone. But shocked is so amazing, right? This guy, I think he has like something like 130% health steal on this Kron, which is so good when it comes to Ray and her team. But if they have shocked on, they don't, I mean, it doesn't matter, right? It does not matter. So again, just trying to go around, keep shocked on people, but really should be hitting Ray now just because of her inspiration. Okay, so now inspiration's off. We've gotten into Unleash, but I have not dropped the ship on people just because that would be crazy to do that before the first ult. Okay, so she's down in the yellow, which means that we can actually kill people now. We can do things that are important. So there goes Swolo. He's got the Kron, obviously, that makes him the what do I call him? Whack-a-mole Swolo. So basically we just have to wait until, yeah, he's dead. I was like, you know what? Let's just wait until Ray's dead, and then we'll drop the ship on people. Like, we're not in any rush here. We still got 2 minutes left. The big thing is we really want to get through Cal Kestis here. So again, kill Xeris because, I mean, she's honestly just annoying. The cleanse is just crazy. And I need to get to Cal Kestis. So if at all possible, we need to boost people into to damage immunity here, because we're just at this point, like I said, we've just killed Swolo so many times. It's actually kind of funny, but it's also kind of annoying. Okay, so JTR is gone. Swolo's gone for the 50th time. He's came back, just like the meme with Palpatine. So I want to kill Kestis, and then we could kill Swolo finally. And yeah, he's only a single Omicron solo. Okay, so if you guys weren't on the stream, I think, was it Sunday? I learned from my mistakes here. I brought an extra Sith. I, like, full disclosure, right? I had seen people lose with 2 tanks, which last time I had Set and Night Sister. Night Sister obviously is not a Sith, but she will taunt for C, right? Because being dark side. And last time we hit our ult, and we hit into a weird cycle of ability blocks and cooldown reduction, so we could never get our zap off, and they killed us. So like I said, learn from my mistakes. And I've always been the type of person that, like, preaches don't do anything unsafe for just a few extra banners. Like, rather get the banners wasted and just totally get the win, rather than, you know, and you know, there's a little bit of smarts in there. So big thing with this fight, though, you do want to just kind of spam the basics as much as possible, so that way the deceive gets pushed around. With these guys not being Jedi, it will take a little bit longer for you to get your ult. So again, that extra Sith there, cleansing, healing, is the difference maker, I think, right there. I've won it with, you know, singular tanks. I've won it, you know, and I think at this point too, I still have Watt. I just forgot, because I've been using SLKR Watt for so long now that I've forgotten that I actually have that, which we'll use Watt later on. But funny story, I guess. So zap them, we get a really low score, but again, it's safe. So I used JML to kill that Qui-Gon Jinn. It was silly, so I cut that out of the recording. Now decided to go with Bad Batch against this Trench team. Never run this counter before, actually. Most times that they they put in Savage. I think it's to stop Wampa. Don't quote me on that, though. So I decided to bring in Bad Batch. That's why I ended up using JML there on the Qui-Gon Jinn. So technically could have probably put the buff immunity on SWGoH there and killed. But I just wanted to get rid of the counterattacks and the potential ability blocks and all that good stuff. The shocks, all that stuff that Dooku adds into the lineup. Next person I really kind of want to kill is actually Trench himself. So if I can get to him, that'd be awesome. And obviously SWGoH kind of has this reactive taunt thing that goes on. Be quite annoying, honestly. So we get 2 kills for the price of 1 there. Gonna pay off really quick. And yeah, really this will come down to just SWGoH, you know. Really would like to get rid of the burning still too, though, because under the trench lead, we're not going to gain any bonus turn meter or anything. So we'll do the stun here, the grenade, just to get rid of that, all the burning. We're only at 2 stacks of Fury, so I wanted to just go ahead and, I think it's Fury. So now we're at 7, 8, and 9. So we're one away from being able to reuse our AoE defense up, which will eventually give us our true damage. So again, not there yet, so don't want to use it. And they would quit missing, we would be there. Just kidding. So we added the buff immunity there. Obviously that's what ends up helping us to win, but we don't have the defense up, which is what that true damage adds up whenever you're dealing extra damage and all that good stuff. So there it is. So now we'll add the buff immunity and we'll get a 64 out of it. Cool. Okay. Next is, I decided I was going to use Trench here, or yeah, I was going to try Trench here. Now I forgot that I'd used Newt with my Grievous team. So to be fair, I do think that this is capable of winning, and I think it's actually still a very good team winning with Newt. That was my plan when I moved into the squad. I just forgot that I'd used him on that horrible CLS encounter. I gave weapons tech over to Trench. I feel like just getting the calls to assist is going to be important, so I gave it to him. I could go other ways too. Like I could see Dooku. No real need for it to be Django. He's already kills. He already. It's a permadeath, I guess, is the best way to put that. So I'm just trying to control Radis here. So land a huge hit there, and now I'm like, okay, this is looking pretty solid. We'll go in on Jyn Erso because she's the only other revive. Like I said, I just thought about it. I thought this would work. I don't know if it will work against every single comp. You know, Pow in here was kind of a random call out, I feel like. But you know, I think this worked out quite nice. So I think in the future I'll try Newt. So then the last ground fight here, I'm actually surprised it was the dash, and this is a 370 dash plus his lead is going to give him 390. Maybe he's 380. I don't remember, honestly. He was so fast. I was so shocked. And my mods on Zam are pretty, just my mods in general on bounty hunters are pretty bad at this point, if I'm being honest. So I was pretty surprised that we went first. But now that we've gone first, I'm going to get the turn meter here. You can't crit on Queel. That's why I didn't attack him. And obviously we're gaining turn meter from him. So, and the other thing is dash is kind of the main thing here, right? Like he's kind of the important part. So again, I'm just trying to get crits. Like that's to me kind of the more important part, rather than anything else really at this point. Just get the turn meter and all that good stuff. So we can attack outside of taunt. I decided to go for the AoE. It could have probably went other ways. And yeah, I think with the 115 armor pen, guys like Mando end up doing crazy damage, like because he doesn't normally do 85k for me. I decided to go in on Queel now that we've kind of eliminated everything, and now it's clear that I'm just gonna nuke Nest, and yeah, it'll be a win. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I know that the Zam Omicron adds speed because of based off hers, but I don't think I have her modded above 300. So And I don't think my Bosk is really his modding's not the ideal guide, so to speak. Okay, so then we're gonna go into some ship battles here. He did kind of place a cheese. I would consider this cheese, right? This is really more or less an executor prey. Now he does have R9 on IG88, which I'm not used to necessarily. I've done the fight before, but it's not something that I do all the time. So I decided to come out here and stun IG88. And I really want, if I have to do a cleanup at this point, I really would like for it to be as simple as possible. So I'm just going to go for IG88, knowing full well that it's going to probably put Cad into stealth, which it did. And then Bobo gets called out. So not usually used to him getting called out, to be honest. But since he did get called out, we're going to call out TIE Interceptor to kind of reduce his buffs. And then I'm going to do the middle ability, so we add some foresight in here. Now, you guys know TIE Defender, he basically takes on the unique of a TIE fighter, which is when you dodge, we gain turn meter here. So this is normally saved for Bosk, right? But I was like, man, we're in a kind of a weird spot. I didn't need the heal, but I was like, dude, like I said, if I have to clean this up, I'd rather it be something that's manageable. So this to me is becoming manageable. I'm checking here to see, I think, like I said, the resilient, or I think it's resilient defense. You can only gain 2 stacks of it, so it's not like doing a basic there is going to gain me stacks of it back. And so yeah, again, I'm just kind of I decided that, like, hey, having 2 people attack me is better than 3, so that's what we'll do. Think pretty hard about healing here versus just doing a basic. You get 50% health, and I can't remember if I do actually heal here. I could go either way on this, honestly. We could get the resilient defense stacks, right? Okay, so I think that's what we ended up doing. We ended up dodging, and now we can re-heal ourselves and go ahead and put in. So this really ends up becoming the TIE Defender show. Because yeah, we get him out and then kill Cad, and we win with a 61. So pretty low score, but yeah, I mean, heavy relic teams here that he's got. So, and I think I misplay this a little bit, but I bring in my negotiator here. There's definitely a way in which you can only bring in 1 reinforcement, and I think I messed this up. I don't know if you're supposed to go back on Sun Fact, but I ended up doing that, and I just decided that, like, hey, that's what we're gonna do right now. Gonna get the taunt going, and yeah, we're gonna hit here because Grievous is already at like basically 100% turn meter, so rather get the kill there and the 20% turn meter boost than when he's, you know, chilling at like, you know, 40% turn meter, and we now boost him above our own cap ship. So that's why we ended up doing that. Put the unending loyalty on Anakin. And again, I could have called out, I just, because of the cooldowns on those Vulture droids, I ended up deciding to forego the bringing out Plo right now. So now I'm bringing them out because, again, they've kind of used up their buzz droid attacks, and what I'm trying to do is get buff immunity on Spy, but it's clearly not happening. Okay, so here's our attempt, or I guess we didn't go for it because I was afraid of killing 2 of them and getting Grievous to go again, which he goes anyways now. And so this is where I'm like, okay, screw this. Like, we're starting to bleed banners here. Like, I'll give up the turn meter here and we'll just kill Spy. So we get a 68 overall, but I've seen some like 72, 73, 74s even with that Malevolence lineup. So then I bring in the remaining Empire fleet here. Yeah, and I just go for Rose Tico because we know she's gonna taunt, and she's actually quite annoying, especially with this comp, because right? There's not really like a heavy damage dealer here. It's weird. Like sometimes Palpatine just decides that like he's going to hit for like 20k on his basic. And then sometimes he's just like, oh yeah, no, let me just delete this guy from the board. He's just like, will hit someone for like 175k and just be like, oh yeah, sorry. So yeah, it just kind of depends on, I guess, what Palpatine is feeling those days. So yeah, he killed Rose there. He's kind of the big damage dealer, I guess. You know, Gar is as well. Although my one of my I don't remember if it's Gar, but one of them, their mods is off, so probably not hitting as hard as could be, I guess. So next, after we get past the ever dodging Clone Sergeant, we'll kill off Rey, hopefully. I think they get in one more reinforcement. But as you can see, we're actually doing really well on banners. We're doing really well on a lot of things. So things are looking pretty good. Trying to get some banners back by rehealing a little bit. But want to play that very cautiously because, you know, you don't want to also just give them their opening for an attack and then you would just waste all that. So 75 there with one reinforcement, and I finished with a 1791. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and appreciate any support you guys give to the channel via likes, comments, subscribes. Obviously, all that stuff is much appreciated, guys. I will try to upload more GAC recaps as I saw, you know, in the votes that you guys want those. So again, thanks for watching. I know these can kind of take a long time, but hopefully they are insightful. Thanks.